I'm Gigi Kopelak, president of the board since last September when our past president, Juliet, moved out of state. I'm new to the board, but not new to the station. I started working with PCTV over 15 years ago with the media committee of the Pleasantville Garden Club. I have been producing garden shows since then. In addition, my expertise is in art. I started an art series and have interviewed over 50 artists, curators, museum directors, and others involved in the arts. There are 6 members on the PCTV board. I came onto the board at the same time as Paul Alvarez, who is our liaison with the village. It's been my pleasure to get to know and work with all the board members and staff. You will be hearing from Bernie Gordon, Nick Antonaccio, Jonathan Cunningham, and Loretta Chiavetta in this presentation. On screen now, you can see the duties and responsibilities of our staff. I have come to realize, and you can see, that from the list of their responsibilities that Shane McGaffey and Evelyn Tierney spend innumerable hours working in the studio and are responsible for the quality of the creative and informative presentations that PCTV has become known for. I personally feel that part of our mission is to create community conversation. With the advent of fast internet connections and on-demand content, it will be necessary for TV to change. It doesn't mean that television itself is coming to an end. It's simply evolving to meet new technology and market influences. PCTV now has this amazing space. We need to reshape for the market and find our way into the future. For that, we need your help.
The express purpose of Pleasantville Community Television is to provide the viewing audience of the Village of Pleasantville access to local programming on the Optimum, Channel 76, and Verizon, Channel 36, cable networks. These cable networks have cable franchise agreements with the Village of Pleasantville, enabling PCTV to broadcast its programming on its cable stations. The goal of PCTV is to enhance the quality of life of the residents of the village by building a sense of cohesiveness and community, by providing educational opportunities for all residents, increasing avenues of communication among residents, publicizing and covering village activities and events, and providing an opportunity for self-expression by village residents. To accomplish its mission and to reflect the wealth of knowledge and interest of our PCTV viewing community, PCTV strives to involve the community in our programming and our operations. Our studio facility is located within the Village of Pleasantville. PCTV also has the capability to originate and film programs throughout the village. Our programs are then broadcast on our public access channels on Optimum and Verizon, and can also be accessed on our website at pctv76.org. PCTV is a not-for-profit corporation registered with the state of New York and recognized by the Internal Revenue Service as a charitable organization under Section 501c3. Consequently, donations to PCTV are tax deductible. Like all public access channels, viewer support is essential, and your financial support of PCTV is greatly needed and sincerely appreciated. In addition to the Village of Pleasantville, PCTV can also be seen by residents of Chappaqua and Millwood, the town and village of Ossining, Briarcliff Manor, Tarrytown, Sleepy Hollow, Hawthorne, Thornwood, and Valhalla. We strive to serve these communities as well with local programming and appreciate their support in order to expand our operations to accomplish these important goals. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Jonathan Cunningham, and I've served on the PCTV Board of Directors for 18 years. First as a Village Trustee Liaison, and since 2015 as a community member. In a normal year, PCTV would film 90 shows for the Village and between 300 and 400 at the studio for community members. Starting March 13, 2020, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, video production changed drastically. But as we know and have learned, content is still king. During COVID, due to strict safety protocols, people couldn't get together in the same room, and as a result, the use of video became more in demand, as well as more complex and time-consuming to produce, if you want it done well. PCTV found itself hosting webinars in Pleasantville for folks in California, producing events like the high school graduation and Memorial Day ceremonies that were both live and partially pre-recorded. They repurposed videos from 14 years of Pleasantville music festivals to make a 12-hour best-of series airing live on TV and again on the internet. Recording and editing Zoom meetings, they used cell phone footage to create video, and filmed in-person studio productions and location shoots while maintaining safety protocols. With studio shoots restricted, the need for creative problem-solving became a must. Standard procedures weren't possible. New thinkings and ways to create compelling content were called into action. COVID has put Zoom-like remote technologies and other forms of multimedia front and center, and many aspects of that, or at least a hybrid of it, will be with us going forward. Serious change has already happened, and it will continue to evolve. PCTV provides a real valued function to the Village and the residents, and I hope I'm not here to convince you of that. Communicating vital information and fostering community relationships, the station is committed to continuing. But to meet these challenges will require updated equipment, software, and website improvements, putting greater stress on our budget. We look forward to continuing our partnership. Thank you for your time, and good night.
Good evening. In the last few years, PCTV has acquired a new switcher, new cameras, LED lights, and a 36 terabyte server that's used for public access shows and commercial work, and has allowed producers and clients the ability to download video directly from PCTV. While these improvements have given us significant benefits, at a television station, there's always technology that needs to be addressed. 3 of the 4 editing computers that we're currently using were built in 2009. And although they have been updated, which has extended their life with modifications over the years, they are reaching the end of their useful life and need to be replaced. Currently, we're only broadcasting from Village Hall and simulcast that signal from 2 Lake Street, but need to build a new broadcast system where live and pre-recorded programming can emanate from 2 Lake Street. Currently, if you turn on the government channel on Optimum or on Verizon and turn to the public channel, you'd be watching the exact same programming, the website. The original PCTV website was launched in 2009. It's a content management system that hosts more than 3,000 original programs. It's Pleasantville's video library, storing all the shows, special events, parades, and meetings since 2009. PCTV has been working to merge the content management backend that houses this library with a new modern front end that meets community standards and expectations. To sum things up, tonight we are presenting our budget for the next year and contract for the next 3 years, which addresses the technology needs that are brought to your attention. We don't expect these needs and upgrades to be resolved in 1 year, but it's something to be planned and implemented over the next 3 years of our contract. Thank you very much for your time.
Marketing is one of the many tools used to promote PCTV's commercial work division, Media Access Pleasantville, or as we call it, MAP. Last spring, the team created flyers to promote MAP's video production capabilities. Our team created a marketing campaign directed at real estate agents. One of our clients, the homes team of William Ravis, hires PCTV often to film properties that are for sale, and we created a flyer to inform other local real estate agents about the variety of video services we offer. We will be targeting this market again in 2021 and beyond through email campaigns, social media platforms, and in-person meetings at local real estate offices when that's allowed. When MAP was first established, a two-sided 8x5 direct mailer was sent to businesses in the Westchester area. The card highlighted our production services. As businesses rebound from the pandemic, we hope to capture this business as they reestablish and promote themselves. We see a real opportunity to reach out again with a similar mailer promoting our services to businesses, schools, organizations, etc. In January, in an effort to bring awareness of PCTV to newcomers and younger community members, we launched the first annual PCTV Video Talent Contest. Our thought process was twofold. One, highlight local talent at a time when performance opportunities were scarce. And two, we saw an opportunity to attract a new demographic in our community. As it turned out, all entries were 19 years old and younger, and we're excited to announce we will be hosting more contests of this kind annually. Since PCTV is a public access station, the marketing team has to be mindful of the amount of commercial work, with PCTV's mandated purpose to provide opportunities for self-expression to village residents. And most importantly, provide excellent production services to our major partner, the Village of Pleasantville. Although we never want to lose sight of who we are, we have worked for and continue to pursue additional revenue sources with local Chamber of Commerce's, governments, and businesses. Thank you very much.
Since its redesign in 2015, when the broadcast schedule went from a basic listing in an email to a more attractive, easier to read newsletter format, which included photos, show descriptions, with links to the videos that were up on the PCTV website. Subscribership has doubled since 2015. We now have 828 subscribers. The newsletter features the most recent village board meetings, Board of Education meetings, and several recently filmed public access shows meant to educate, entertain, and engage our viewers and subscribers. There's also a section for most watched, so you can see what new shows are popular and which classic shows are still on the top 10 list. The newsletter is also used to immediately deliver messages and news affecting village residents, as in the case last year with the COVID-19 updates. PCTV primarily uses Facebook with 3 goals in mind. 1, to build community awareness of PCTV. 2, to share the current broadcast schedule. And 3, to promote specific shows we think will have a high interest or value to the community. For example, as recently featured when a new clergy member joined the community, or to introduce a new series like Sterling Suggestions, which helped older adults navigate through the Medicare system. Or when Pleasantville Strong has information for parents on safeguarding kids from drugs. Or a new business opens and we help introduce them to the community by partnering with the village and the Chamber of Commerce to host a ribbon-cutting ceremony. We also use Facebook as a means to advertise PCTV. Events and fundraisers like Making a Difference galas, 2019 concert video, to the most recent virtual talent contest. Facebook stats tracking engagement from February 13th to March 12th show that posts during that period reached 2,811 people. PCTV will continue to utilize Facebook and increase our usage of Instagram by posting valuable content with 2 goals in mind. 1, to increase PCTV's awareness as a public access station. 2, as a means to strengthen and develop relationships with community members, organizations, and businesses that will help lead to additional financial support through donations and sponsorships. Thank you.
Three major sources of self-funding for PCTV are donors, fundraising, and sponsorships. Donors. Our annual appeal is in its 10th year. It began as an effort to supplement the village contract. It is our major revenue generator. In the last 5 years, we have averaged nearly $13,000 per year. Cumulatively, 196 individual donations and 97 business donations. The majority of these donations are between $10 and $100. There have also been several large donations from perennially loyal and generous residents and businesses. COVID has taken an expected toll over the past year, and it is uncertain what to expect going forward. Fundraising. We began a Making a Difference themed gala in 2014. The program began as an effort to supplement the village contract at that time. These events have been well received and supported by the community, generating an average of nearly $6,000 pre-COVID. There was no gala in 2020 or 2021. Sponsorships. Another new program, initiated in 2013 as we were grappling to supplement the village contract. The outpouring of village businesses in support of PCTV is much appreciated. Over 24 individual Pleasantville business owners have been sponsors since inception. 11 have donated at least 3 times. Total revenue has been over $32,000. We have also bartered for services in return for sponsorships with several businesses. COVID has taken an expected toll over the past year. Future support is uncertain. Loretta has addressed our strategy to bolster this program. In 2015, we came before the board for additional contract funding. The board increased our village contract funding to cover additional costs needed to maintain our high-quality content and our output, with the understanding that we at PCTV would seek additional sources of revenue. The village funding to us has declined since then, from the $110,000 in 2016 to $100,000 for the last 4 years, while we have had moderate success in increasing self-generated revenues, growing each year to over 40% pre-COVID. To place this in another context, adjusted for inflation, the 2015 contract amount would be $121,000 today. Couple this with the loss of the cable company's PEG payments. There are no payments forthcoming during the remaining term of their contracts, which terminate in 2025. These factors have forced us to cut back on expenditures and investments. As PCTV was struggling with the loss of our studio at 2 Jackson Street in 2017 and not having the financial resources to build a new studio, the village generously provided the pump house space, finances, and construction for our new state-of-the-art studio, and for that we are very grateful. Now, 4 years later, select equipment and software need to be replaced or upgraded this year and going forward. Here's a graph of the major components of our funding and expenses over the past 6 years. As you'll see on the graph, all I tried to do was to enunciate our total source of revenue, our total costs, and whether or not we had a profit or a deficit in each of those years. And as you can see on the graph on the bottom bar graph indicates our profitability or our loss. And you can see we've fluctuated over the years. Our average cumulative loss over that period of time is an average deficit of $37,387. We've made up for that with cash sources, for sure. One good example of that is, as you can see, in the year 2020, our COVID year, we had a deficit of $41,000 from operations. We made up for that with the final payment that we received from Cablevision under the PEG installments and our PPP loan, which we hope and expect to be forgiven. Going into 2021, we're projecting another loss of $9,000. But even as we get closer and closer to year end, that's still a bit uncertain. This graph depicts the revenues that we've received from the village over the last 6 years. We've already discussed that. You can see that's a decline and then a straight line. But I wanted to also show some of the select sources of revenue that we have been assigned to and that we've made an effort to be more self-sustaining as PCTV. And you can see the driving components there. And I selected 4 of our services that we provide. Cable grants, we talked about the fluctuating cable grants there, and you can see that in green. You can see each of the years where it's spiked and ebbed. And you see that in 2021, we received our final payment. Fundraising activities, that had been a major source of revenue for us. And you can see on the gray bar that it started out and it sustained itself, but in 2020, it plummeted. We do not expect to have another fundraising activity like our gala until 2022. And then all importantly for us, our third-party services. And you can see on the yellow line on the graph that has steadily increased ever since 2015 when we were charged to become more self-sufficient by the board. We're very proud of that, and we look to the future with the assistance of the board now for helping us to sustain that. I'd be happy to take questions during the Q&A on any of these graph items.